Welcome back to Ronin Recap. Now on to the next chapter.
After Lin Fan hung up, he was not in the mood to eat. He went straight to the underground parking lot. As the engine roared, the Lamborghini dashed out like a wild beast. In the past, when he was driving, Lin Fan would always maintain a constant speed and drive slowly. The way he was driving did not seem like he was driving a supercar at all but an ordinary car. However, today, Lin Fan was not as gentle. He was nearly drilling through the air and continuously accelerating. It caused a deep rumble to ring out on the streets from time to time. When Lin Fan got on the highway, he was like a fish in the water and was without any restraints. He continued to accelerate. With his professional driving skills and the support of absolute focus, he was able to reach the maximum speed. Lin Fan wanted to rush to his parents' side in the shortest time possible. A beautiful woman in a blue dress was driving a red Ferrari on the highway. At this moment, she suddenly heard the roar of an engine in the distance. Through the rearview mirror, the beauty in the blue dress saw a silver-gray Lamborghini closing in on her. Her gem-like eyes immediately lit up, and her thin, willow leaf-like lips curled up slightly. Immediately after, her fair, beautiful legs stepped on the accelerator. Boom! Instantly, the fiery red Ferrari let out a beast-like roar and accelerated. A race began. One could not judge a book by its cover, and the sea could not be measured. Although the blue-dressed beauty looked quiet, no one would have thought that she had a heart as hot as the sun and driving skills that challenged the limits of speed. However, it was a pity that she met Lin Fan today. No matter how fast the lady in the blue dress sped up, Lin Fan was able to close the distance between them bit by bit. In the end, Lin Fan made a turn and swept past the beauty in the blue dress with a strong gust of wind. The beauty in the blue dress caught a glimpse of Lin Fan's figure through the window. Then, she could only see the tail lights of the car that was speeding away. Alf 666, I hope to meet you again soon, the beauty in the blue dress said softly. Lin Fan did not take the race earlier to heart. He continued to move forward at his fastest speed. Zhongbei was not far from Qing City. Not long after, he arrived at the Central Hospital of Qing City. He pushed open the door to the ward and saw his father, Lin Tao, lying on the bed. He was breathing with the aid of an oxygen mask with difficulty. His wrinkled face was pale. Lin Fan's heart was in pain. Creak! Creak! At this moment, the door of the ward opened. His mother, Dai Weishue, walked in. Lil Fan, you're back so soon? Dai Weishue was shocked. Lin Fan made a shushing gesture, indicating for them to go out and talk so as not to disturb his father's rest. In the corridor. Mom, how's Dad's condition? Lin Fan asked. At the start, Dai Weishue hid it from Lin Fan because she did not want him to worry. Now that Lin Fan knew that Lin Tao had fallen ill, there was no need to hide it anymore. There's a tumor in your father's stomach. After we pay the fees, we should be able to arrange for the surgery within these 2 days. Dai Weishue's eyes were slightly red as she said this. By the way, you still haven't told me what that 5 million is all about? When Lin Tao fell ill, Dai Weishue felt as if the entire sky was falling down, but she gritted her teeth and endured it all. For the past 2 days, she had been taking care of Lin Tao and borrowing money from people everywhere. However, the surgery required a huge sum of money, and Dai Weishue couldn't raise enough in such a short time. Today, Lin Fan suddenly sent over 5 million bucks, making Dai Weishue both surprised and happy. However, she did not dare to pay the surgery fees immediately. Lin Fan was just an ordinary worker. Where did he get such a large sum of money? Dai Weishue was worried that he was taking the wrong path. If she were to use this sum of money and it ended up harming Lin Fan, then it would be too late for regrets. Lin Fan said, Mom, don't worry. This is the money I earned from investing in stocks and buying Bitcoin. Moreover, this is only a small part of it. Our family is no longer short of money. Regarding the system, Lin Fan did not intend to tell anyone about it. This included his parents and sister. It was not that Lin Fan did not trust his parents and sister. The main thing was that even if he told them, they would not believe him. It would only add to their troubles. Dai Weishua had also heard that people could become rich overnight by buying stocks in Bitcoin. Therefore, when she heard Lin Fan's words, she heaved a sigh of relief in her heart. Then, she looked at Lin Tao, who was lying in the ward bed with an extremely worried look. After a moment, she said in a hoarse voice, "I'll go and pay the fee first." Lin Gan said, "Mom, sit and rest. I'll go." The hospital was never short of patients, and there was a long queue at the payment window. At this moment, a group of doctors in white coats and a few middle-aged men in white shirts who exuded a superior aura walked in together. Behind them were a few professional reporters with microphones in their hands and video cameras on their shoulders. The tall and thin man standing beside Lin Fan said in shock, "There's even a camera." "What's that for?" The shorter man said, "No way. Didn't you see the news? The man with the glasses is a big leader in the city." Heavens! A big leader from the city came to visit the hospital? Doesn't that mean we can also appear on TV today? The tall, thin man said excitedly. Lin Fan heard the conversation between the two of them, and his eyes flickered slightly. He walked up with large strides. The city's leader was surrounded by guards, and ordinary people could not get close at all. However, Lin Fan was no ordinary person. He easily bypassed the guards and came to the leader. The inaugural upload of this chapter took place via /n/ov/l/b/in. And you are? The leader was a little confused. Lin Fan took out the dragon-shaped token from his pocket and said, "Leader, do you have time to talk in private?" The pupils of the leader, who was originally calm, shrank slightly. He had seen the dragon-shaped token once before and was very clear on what it represented. He hurriedly nodded and said, "Of course, you can." Then, he turned to the bald doctor and asked, "Director Huang, can you find us a quiet place?" Sure. "Head this way, please," Director Huang said. Soon, Director Huang brought the two of them to a spacious meeting room. "Director Huang, you should stay too," Lin Fan said. "All right," Director Huang replied. The three sat down. Lin Fan did not beat about the bush and said directly, "I'm actually looking for you this time because I have a personal matter that I need your help with." When the leader heard this, not only was he not angry, but he also felt a sense of joy. Even though Lin Fan's level was similar to his, the special privileges he had far exceeded his own. If he could help Lin Fan, he could improve their relationship. In the eyes of the leader, this was definitely a great thing. Even though he could still arrange for his father's surgery after paying the fee, Lin Fan understood that every operation had its risks. He had to find the best doctor for his father to minimize the risk. 2 days ago, my dad was admitted to the hospital because he has a tumor in his stomach. So, I want to ask if you know any experts in this area, Lin Fan said. Filial piety is the most important virtue, the leader praised him. For the sake of your father's health, you're busy running about. It's rare, truly rare. I've always admired people who are filial to their parents like you. My name is Zhao Jiechi. I'm a little older than you. If you don't mind, you can call me Old Zhao. Director Huang's heart trembled when he heard this. He had guessed that Lin Fan's identity was not normal. Otherwise, Zhao Jiechi would not have postponed his plan to visit the hospital and met with him alone. However, Director Huang did not expect Lin Fan's identity to be so terrifying. The big leader, Zhao Jiechi, told Lin Fan to address him as Old Zhao? It was beyond his imagination. I think I'll just call you Brother Zhao. Oh right, I'm Lin Fan. Alright, then I'll call you Little Brother Lin, Zhao Jiechi said happily. After a pause, Zhao Jiechi continued, Is Uncle Lin in the Central Hospital of Qing City? Director Huang is just beside you, so you can tell him about Uncle Lin's situation first. Thus, Lin Fan explained the general situation. I'll ask the specialists from the oncology department to hold a meeting right away, Director Huang said immediately. Not long after, several doctors came to the meeting room with documents. They already knew that Lin Fan's identity was not ordinary. After carefully looking through Lin Tao's medical report, they finally gave a suggestion. Mr. Lin's tumor was discovered quite late. It'll be more dangerous if we use conventional surgery. Moreover, even if we succeed, it might have a certain impact on his future life. When Lin Fan heard that, he frowned. What if he's transferred to another hospital in the capital city? Zhao Zheqi asked. With Mr. Lin's current condition, I'm afraid he can't handle such a long journey, a doctor said. The atmosphere in the meeting room became heavy. At this moment, the doctor with gold-rimmed glasses said, if Department Director Li Quan from the Jinbei Medical Association uses his surgical technique to perform this surgery, the danger and the subsequent impact can be minimized. All the doctors nodded in agreement. Normally, doctors would rarely admit that their medical skills were inferior to others in public. However, at this moment, they could not care so much. The doctor with the gold-rimmed glasses continued, also, as far as I know, Director Li Quan went to the Jiangbei Association for a meeting yesterday. When Zhao Zheqi heard this, he finally smiled and said, since that's the case, things will be easy. I'm quite familiar with the Jinbei Association of Sciences, so I should be able to get Director Li Quan to come to Qing City. Then I'll have to trouble you, Brother Zhao, Lin Fan said solemnly. It's no trouble at all. I'm very happy to be able to help you a little, Zhao Zheqi said. He was definitely not spouting nonsense. Zhao Zheqi had wanted to befriend Lin Fan. Now that he had the chance to help, he was naturally happy. Then, Zhao Zheqi made a call to the old dean of Jinbei Medical Association. After some discussion, he finally asked the other party to invite Li Quan to Qing City for surgery. Li Quan gave him a lot of face. Not long after, he called and said that he would come to Qing City tomorrow morning. With all the arrangements in place, Lin Fan heaved a sigh of relief. At this moment, a middle-aged man in a white shirt slowly walked in with an exquisite fruit basket. Little brother Lin, with Director Li Quan's help, Uncle Lin will definitely be fine. Shall we go and visit Uncle Lin now? Zhao Zheqi said. All right, Lin Fan said. In the ward. Although Lin Tao's complexion was still poor, he had already regained consciousness. Dai Weishua was using a hot towel to wipe Lin Tao's forehead. Did you just say that Lil Fan is back? Asked Lin Tao. Yes, and he's doing very well now. He paid a large sum of money for your surgery. So, you just need to recuperate in peace, Dai Weishua said. When Lin Tao heard this, not only did he not feel happy, but he frowned and said, a large sum of money? He didn't do anything illegal, did he? Creak, creak, creak. Dai Weishua was about to explain when the door was pushed open. Then, Lin Fan, Zhao Zheqi, Director Huang, and a large group of doctors walked in. Lin Fan looked at Lin Tao, who was sitting on the bed, and said excitedly, Dad, you're awake? Yes, I just woke up, Lin Tao said. Then, he looked at Zhao Zheqi, Director Huang, and the others with a puzzled look. Especially when he saw Zhao Zheqi, the doubt on Lin Tao's face deepened. He had a feeling that he had seen Zhao Zheqi somewhere before. Lin Fan introduced, this is the leader of Qing City, Zhao Zheqi. This is the director of the Central Hospital of Qing City, Director Huang. Hearing this, Lin Tao's turbid eyes immediately widened. City leader. That was right. He was the big city leader. He often saw him speaking on the Qing City's news channel. Now, the figure had actually appeared in front of him. The original appearance of this chapter can be found at N0V3L.B1N. He came to the hospital to visit him personally? Zhao Zheqi walked to the hospital bed and asked softly, Uncle Lin, how do you feel now? Uncle Lin? Not only did the leader of Qing City come to the hospital to visit him, but he also called him Uncle Lin? Lin Tao hurriedly said, Great leader, you can just call me Lin Tao. I'm in good health, very good health. He was so excited that he was incoherent. His originally pale face even had a rare flush of red due to excitement. How can I do that? You're Lin Fan's father, so we can't mess up the seniority, Zhao Zheqi said. In fact, Zhao Zheqi was a few years older than Lin Tao. However, as he said, the seniority could not be messed up. He did not dare to directly call Lin Tao by his name. He paused for a moment before continuing. Don't worry, Uncle Lin. Little brother Lin Fan has already arranged for the best doctor for you. He'll definitely be able to make your body recover. Also, if you feel uncomfortable anywhere, you must tell us. Don't worry. I'll be fine. Lin Tao said with a smile. Then, Director Huan went up to greet him and personally helped Lin Tao carry out a more detailed examination. After a round of small talk, they expressed that they wanted Lin Tao to rest more and left. Lin Tao looked at the room full of exquisite fruit baskets, and his grin almost reached the back of his ears. Seeing Lin Tao so happy, Lin Fan was also very happy. Lil Fan, how did you get to know such a big figure? Lin Tao could not help but ask. Lin Fan made up an excuse and said, maybe he knows that I'm investing in stocks. I've made a lot of money by buying Bitcoin, so perhaps he wants me to invest in Qing City? Oh, I see. Lin Tao nodded. If the conditions allow, we can make some investments in Qing City. Dad, don't worry. No matter what, Qing City is my hometown. When the time is right, I'll definitely help my hometown with the development, Lin Fan said. At this moment, Dai Weishua's phone vibrated. She looked at the message and said, Liliao said that she'll come to the hospital after school. She asked us if we need anything. Lin Fan said, Liliao's gonna get off school? It's not easy to get a taxi at this time. I'll go pick her up. Then, he walked out of the ward. Dai Weishua had wanted to ask, when did you buy a car? However, when she thought about the $5 million that Lin Fan had transferred to her. In fact, even the leader of Qing City was calling him little brother in order to get investment. In that case, it seemed normal for him to have a car. Dai Weishua looked at Lin Tao's happy expression and smiled. You're not worried about your son going astray now, are you? Not at all. Lin Tao said. What a joke. Even the leader of Qing City had to call his son little brother. How could he take the wrong path? Qing City No. 1 High School was one of the key high schools in Qing City. The most outstanding students in the entire Qing City were gathered here. After the school bell rang, a large group of young students with backpacks on their backs walked out, full of youth and ambition. They were either discussing difficult math problems or talking about exam questions. Lin Fan immediately spotted Lin Xiaoyao in the crowd. She had her hair tied up in a ponytail, and she stood there elegantly. At the same time, Lin Xiaoyao also saw Lin Fan and ran up to him. Lin Fan pinched Lin Xiaoyao's face and said, remember to eat more every day. If you lose weight, it'll be unpleasant to pinch. Brother! Lin Xiaoyao protested. Let's go to the hospital, Lin Fan said with a smile. As he spoke, he opened the door of the Lamborghini and got in. Brother, this car is weird, Lin Xiaoyao said, stunned. Lin Xiaoyao did not know much about cars, but she knew that sports cars were very expensive. Any one of them would probably cost millions. Lin Fan said, I've been speculating in stocks and Bitcoin for the past 2 years. I've made a lot of money, so I bought this car. After lying a few times, Lin Fan no longer had any hesitation when doing it. Brother, you're too amazing. Lin Xiaoyao exclaimed. After saying that, Lin Xiaoyao scuttled into the car like a little monkey. Then, she touched all the corners. Her bright black eyes were full of excitement and curiosity. Not long after, the two of them returned to the hospital. At this time, Lin Tao had already been arranged to the VIP ward. It was a spacious and clean ward with a separate bathroom. Overall, it did not look like a ward at all but a luxury suite in a hotel. In addition, there were also nurses and care workers in the VIP ward. They provided the best service throughout the whole process. Staying here did not feel like staying in the hospital at all. It was more like he was here to enjoy life. Wow! Lin Xiaoyao exclaimed. This ward is so good. Lin Tao's sallow face was full of smiles as he said, Liliao, you don't know this, but the leader of Qing City, the hospital director, and the chief physicians all came to see me. And the leader of Qing City even called me uncle. This was definitely the peak of Lin Tao's life. When he saw his daughter, he could not help but want to brag. Look at how smug you are. It's all thanks to Lil Fan. Dai Weishue laughed. Brother, you know the leader of Qing City? The leader was here to visit Dad? Lin Xiaoyao's eyes widened. Even though she knew that her brother was amazing when she sat in the Lamborghini just now, she did not expect Lin Fan to be so influential. In Lin Xiaoyao's eyes, the leader of Qing City was a true big shot. Such a big shot actually came to visit their father because of her brother and even called their father uncle. Lin Tao was very satisfied with his daughter's surprised expression and said proudly, of course. Moreover, the leader of Qing City has invited an expert from Jinbei Medical Association to perform the surgery for me tomorrow. Really? That's great. Lin Xiaoyao called out happily. The family was very happy to be reunited. They were not as sad as they were when they first found out about the tumor. Big brother, you're so amazing. Lin Xiaoyao cheered. However, she seemed to have thought of something and said with great self-blame, if I hadn't fallen sick back then and caused you to miss the college entrance examination and lose the chance to go to college, perhaps you would have been better off. Lin Fan smiled and touched Lin Xiaoyao's face, we don't know that for sure. It's precisely because I entered society early that I'm able to earn so much money and get to know big leaders. If I had taken the college entrance examination and gone to college, I might not have found a job yet. Besides, I've been specially admitted to Jiangbei University. Lin Fan laughed. Even if I had taken the college entrance exam back then, I might not have been able to get into such a good school. Jiangbei University was one of the top 10 universities in the country. Lin Fan's grades back then were indeed not bad. However, if he wanted to get into Jiangbei University, he had to perform well. Brother, are you saying that you're studying at Jiangbei University now? Lin Xiaoyao was shocked. How can it be fake? The dean of Jiangbei University's School of Mathematics personally recruited me, Lin Fan said. Alright. That's great. Lin Tao and Dai Weishue both shouted happily. All parents hoped that their children could study and go to college. They were both very regretful that Lin Fan did not go to college. Now that Lin Fan had been specially admitted to Jiangbei University, it was definitely good news for them. Although there was a separate nurse in the VIP ward to take care of Lin Tao's condition was very serious. Lin Fan rented a bed for the night and stayed beside Lin Tao. At midnight, Lin Fan's phone vibrated. Notice from Merchant Bank, 700,000 yuan has been deposited into your account. The next day, Dai Weishue brought breakfast over early in the morning. After breakfast, the family started to chat in the hospital. When a ray of warm sunlight shone through the window and onto the bed, the leader, Zhao Juqi, and a large group of doctors came into the ward. Zhao Juqi pointed at the doctor of medium build beside him and introduced, Little brother Lin, this is Director Li Quan. Director Li, thank you for coming all the way here from Jiangbei, Lin Fan said. You're too kind, Mr. Lin, said Li Quan with a smile. It's my duty as a doctor to save people. Even though Lin Fan looked very young, even the leader of Qing City had to treat him with some respect, so Li Quan did not dare to be arrogant. Zhao Juqi walked to the bed and asked with concern, Uncle Lin, how are you feeling today? I feel much better now, Tao Lin replied. Zhao Juqi said, that's good. Then, Li Quan walked to the bed and examined Tao Lin's body. He then carefully read the medical records. Mr. Lin, you're doing well. I'll be able to perform the surgery for you later. Don't worry, it'll be over soon, and you'll be healthy again. Alright, Lin Tao responded. Under everyone's gaze, Lin Tao was pushed into the operating room. Originally, Zhao Juqi wanted to leave after Lin Tao's surgery. However, as the leader of Qing City, he had too many things to deal with. Zhao Juqi had to leave the hospital in advance after receiving an emergency call. Time passed by. In the blink of an eye, it was 12 o'clock. Lin Fan's phone vibrated. A red packet had appeared. Ding! Congratulations, you've received 2,000 yuan. Ding! Congratulations, you've received 5 yuan. Ding! Congratulations, you've received 10,000 yuan. Ding! Congratulations, you've obtained 51% of Yinshan Group's shares. When Lin Fan received the red packet, he paused for a moment. Yinshan Group? If he remembered correctly, Yinshan Group's subsidiary companies included Yinshan Shopping Center, Yinshan Gold, and other companies. Their market value was definitely above 10 billion. He now owned 51% of Yinshan Group's shares? Would that not mean that he would instantly gain billions in assets? It was this moment of days that made the time reach 12:01 p.m. However, Lin Fan did not feel that it was a pity. With this 51% of shares, getting fewer red packets meant nothing. Creak! Creak! At this moment, the door of the operating room slowly opened. Li Quan and a few doctors dragged their tired bodies out. Director Li, how's Lin Tao? Dai Weishua asked nervously. The surgery was very successful. He should be fine after staying in the hospital for a while, Li Quan said. Alright, thank you. Thank you so much. Dai Weishua was extremely excited. Even though she already knew that Li Quan was an expert with high medical skills and could treat Lin Tao, Dai Weishua's heart was still hanging in the air during this time. She was not able to sleep at all last night. After all, there were risks and accidents in any surgery. It was only now that her heart settled down. Can I go and see Lin Tao? Dai Weishua asked. Mr. Lin just finished his surgery, Li Quan said. He's asleep now. It's best to let him rest for a while. Alright, Dai Weishua responded. When Lin Tao opened his eyes, it was already night. Dad, you're awake. After school, Lin Xiaoyao, who had rushed straight to the hospital, called out happily. Xiaoyao, lower your voice. Dai Weishua chided in a low voice. Lin Tao, do you feel uncomfortable anywhere? She asked softly. Dad, how do you feel? Lin Fan asked. I'm feeling pretty good. Lin Tao shook his head. When they heard this, they were all even happier. On the other hand, in the chairman's office of Yinshan Group, Song Jifeng read the information in front of him several times and sighed. In the beginning, for the sake of development, a large number of shares flowed into the market. And now, this Mr. Lin Fan has actually acquired 51% of Yinshan Group's shares. Song Jifeng's face was filled with regret as he said this. With 51% of the shares, he was undoubtedly the largest shareholder. Yinshan Group was a business empire that Song Jifeng had established. Now, it was no longer under his control. How could he not regret it? Song Jifeng hesitated for a long time before he finally dialed the number on the information. Hello, Mr. Lin. I'm Song Jifeng, the chairman of Yinshan Group, Song Jifeng said carefully. Lin Fan's deep voice came from the phone. Oh, what's the matter? Lin Fan quickly thought of the 51% shares he had obtained from Yinshan Group in the afternoon. Hence, he was not too surprised when Song Jifeng called. You're the biggest shareholder of Yinshan Group. Do you have any instructions for the group's future development? Song Jifeng asked. Just do as you did in the past, Lin Fan said. Develop well. I'll only hold the company's shares. Lin Fan had no interest in the development of Yinshan Group. If he could, he wanted to sell all his shares immediately. Unfortunately, all the items he obtained from the system were prohibited from being traded. Song Jifeng's face lit up with joy. Alright, we'll definitely transfer the dividends to your account on time. Song Jifeng was very afraid that the company's largest shareholder would command the company at will. If he only wanted to get dividends, it would definitely be good news for him, extremely good news. In the next few days, Lin Fan stayed in the hospital to take care of Lin Tao. He also had the doctor use the best medicine to help Lin Tao's body recover. Just the cost of nursing alone would cost tens of thousands of yuan a day. Lin Tao's health and complexion were getting better day by day. He could even get out of bed and walk. For the past few days, Lin Fan only received cash from the red packets that appeared at noon. On top of that, he also received the cash earned from breathing, walking, and sleeping. Lin Fan's account balance had an additional 3 million. Name, Lin Fan. Level, LV4. Level 4 reward, 10 yuan for every breath, 10 yuan for every second of sleep, 10 yuan for every step taken. Rewards are distributed at 12 a.m. daily. Upgrade cost, 750000/10 million, not including gifts and gambling. In addition, all items obtained from the system are prohibited from being traded. Skills, professional driving skills, charming aura, 5% chance to trigger love at first sight and unforgettable love, violent aesthetics, drinking gentleman, absolute focus, 5% chance to trigger a flash of inspiration, professor-level mathematics experience. Funds, 10.3 million. It was obvious that the 5 million that Lin Fan had transferred to Dai Weishuet a few days ago had not been included in his budgeting. However, Lin Fan did not mind at all. Dai Weishuet peeled an apple for Lin Tao and said, "It's the weekend today, and it's rare for Liliao to have some rest time. Lil Fan, take Liliao out to play." "Yeah, you guys should go out and play. My body is fine now." "You guys are making the ward stuffy," Lin Tao said. Lin Fan felt that his father's words made sense. "Then let's go out for a walk." He nodded. "Alright." Lin Xiaoyao said happily. When she knew her father had fallen sick, Lin Xiaoyao was very sad and scared. Now, her father was fine. Lin Xiaoyao, who was naturally active, felt a little uncomfortable staying in the ward. Lin Fan looked at Lin Xiaoyao's slightly dull clothes and said, "Liliao, let's go buy some clothes first. Which mall is the best in Qing City? Don't try to save money for me." "Yinshan Mall." Lin Xiaoyao said happily. In the past, Lin Xiaoyao would never have gone to Yinshan Mall to buy clothes. The clothes there were indeed beautiful, but they were also relatively expensive. Now, Lin Xiaoyao did not have so many concerns. After all, Lin Fan was driving a sports car that was worth millions. Lin Xiaoyao did not feel any burden at all by the idea of using Lin Fan's money to buy a few expensive clothes. As an older brother, should he not be spending money on his younger sister? Moreover, Lin Fan had also told her not to hesitate. When Lin Fan heard Lin Xiaoyao's words, he gave her a weird look. Yinshan Mall? Strictly speaking, this seemed to be his own business. Going to my own mall to buy clothes? Alright, let's go to Yinshan Mall. Lin Fan smiled. Although Lin Xiaoyao had already sat in the Lamborghini, when she sat in it again, her face was still full of curiosity. She could not help looking around. Yinshan Mall was not far from the central hospital of Qing City. In a short 10 minutes, Lin Fan arrived at his destination. Lin Fan first bought 2 cups of milk tea. Then, he and Lin Xiaoyao leisurely strolled around the mall. It had to be said that the cost of living in a 4th-tier city like Qing City was very low. In the entire Yinshan Mall, there wasn't even a single piece of clothing that cost more than 10,000 yuan. Earlier, Lin Xiaoyao had indeed wanted to buy a few pieces of clothing without any qualms. However, when she arrived at Yinshan Mall, she hesitated again when she saw that the clothes were several times more expensive than usual. Lin Xiaoyao browsed through one clothing store after another. She decided that she had to buy clothes that were both pretty and cheap. With this goal in mind, Lin Xiaoyao became more and more excited and happy as she strolled. She was happy, but Lin Fan was suffering. Even though Lin Fan had the skill of violence aesthetics, which greatly strengthened his body, his legs still felt weak after an hour of shopping. When he walked into another clothing store, Lin Fan took the shopping bags and sat on a chair to rest. He let Lin Xiaoyao choose the clothes and try them on. Lin Xiaoyao picked up a beautiful dress and turned to walk toward the changing room. However, behind her, a couple had appeared without her knowing. Bang! Lin Xiaoyao ran into the woman who had heavy makeup on, and the milk tea spilled on her. I'm sorry, Lin Xiaoyao hurriedly apologized and took out a tissue to wipe the milk tea off the woman's body. The woman with heavy makeup was like a roaring tiger as she cursed, "Do you not have eyes? I just bought these clothes." As she spoke, the woman with heavy makeup raised her hand and slapped Lin Xiaoyao's face. Slap! A loud slap reverberated in the clothing store. In an instant, a clear handprint appeared on Lin Xiaoyao's face. The woman with heavy makeup had not vented her anger and pushed Lin Xiaoyao hard. Thud! Lin Xiaoyao was already a little dazed from the slap, and with her petite body, she fell to the ground instantly. Beside her, the man in Armani clothes said sternly, "How dare you dirty my girlfriend's clothes? You must be blind." As he spoke, he kicked Lin Xiaoyao, who was on the ground. Bang! However, this kick was blocked by Lin Fan. Lin Fan had seen it when the woman with heavy makeup hit Lin Xiaoyao. He wanted to stop her, but he was too far away. Even for Lin Fan, he could not get there in time. The man saw that he was stopped and shouted angrily, "Who the hell are you? You actually dare to stop me?" Bang! Lin Fan did not reply at all. He raised his leg and kicked the man a few meters away. He hit the wall in the distance and made a deep sound. Lin Fan first helped Lin Xiaoyao up and asked with concern, "Liliao, are you alright?" At that moment, Lin Xiaoyao's left cheek was already slowly swelling. She sobbed silently, and tears kept falling down like raindrops. Lin Xiaoyao sobbed and shook her head. "It's fine. I'm fine." This couple did not look like they were easy to deal with, and she did not want to cause trouble for Lin Fan. Lin Fan looked at Lin Xiaoyao's pitiful face, and his heart burned with anger. "Liliao, don't worry. I'll definitely make them pay the price." After saying that, Lin Fan turned around and stared at the woman with heavy makeup with a pair of cold and sharp eyes. N0v3LTR0V served as the original host for this chapter's release on N0v3LB1N. The woman with heavy makeup had not even recovered from the shock of seeing her boyfriend getting kicked when Lin Fan suddenly stared at her. She did not know why, but she could not help but shiver. She slowly took 2 steps back and said, "What do you want to do?" "Apologize," Lin Fan said coldly. At the same time, he slapped the woman's face. Slap! In an instant, one side of the woman's face immediately swelled up, and one side of her eyeliner cracked. "Apologize." After pausing for 2 seconds, Lin Fan shouted again and slapped the woman's face once more. Slap! Suddenly, the woman's entire face turned red and swollen. The eyeliner on her second eye also cracked. "Apologize!" Lin Fan hollered once more as he gave her a third slap. Slap! Not only did the force of the slap not decrease, but it also became even stronger. The woman with heavy makeup fell to the ground and spat out a mouthful of teeth mixed with blood. Instantly, the woman's face swelled up like a pig's head. The woman with heavy makeup on the ground trembled in fear when she saw that Lin Fan was about to hit her again. She knelt on the ground and cried out in fear, I'm sorry. I was wrong." She was completely scared of being beaten, and her tears and snot were flowing freely. "You shouldn't be apologizing to me," Lin Fan said. The woman with heavy makeup quickly kowtowed to Lin Xiaoyao and said, "I'm sorry, it's my fault. It's all my fault. I shouldn't have hit you, and I shouldn't have pushed you." At that moment, the staff members were already hiding in a corner, not daring to make a sound. Lin Xiaoyao was also shocked by the state the woman was in. "Brother, why don't we just forget about it?" At this moment, the man in Armani clothes got up from the ground. He held his stomach and pointed at Lin Fan. "You've got guts, you really have the guts. No one has ever dared to hit me like this. If you dare, just wait here." After saying that, the man took out his phone and quickly made a call. "Brother Wei, it's Pan Zhang Yang," the man said. "Oh, Zhang Yang. What's the matter?" Chen Wei's relaxed voice came from the phone. "Brother Wei, my girlfriend, Sun Xiaohong, and I were beaten up in front of KK clothing store in Yinshan Mall. Hurry up and bring some people over to help us." Pan Zhang Yang went straight to the point. "What?" Chen Wei shouted. "There's someone who dares to hit you in my territory? Tell him to wait, I'll bring people over immediately." "What a rebel!" Pan Zhang Yang was Chen Wei's younger cousin. If it was just Pan Zhang Yang who was beaten up, Chen Wei would not have been so angry. However, since this involved Sun Xiaohong, it was a different story. This was because Chen Wei was the department manager of Qing City's Yinshan Mall. Sun Xiaohong's father was the chairman of Jiaxing Snacks Company. Every year, Jiaxing Snacks Company would give Chen Wei a large sum of money to allow their family's snacks to be sold at the supermarket of Yinshan Mall. It could be said that Sun Xiaohong's father was Chen Wei's god of fortune. Now that the daughter of the god of fortune had been beaten up in Yinshan Mall, Chen Wei was naturally extremely angry. After hanging up the phone, Chen Wei quickly gathered more than 30 security guards and walked toward KK clothing store in an aggressive manner. Lin Fan did not care about Pan Zhangyang calling for help. That was because Lin Fan had the skill of violence aesthetics. Even if he had to deal with 100 people, he would have no problem at all. Today, Lin Fan was going to teach the person who bullied his sister a lesson. Lin Xiaoyao wanted to persuade Lin Fan to leave. However, Lin Fan just sat down without any intention of moving. Lin Xiaoyao recalled Pan Zhangyang's call, and the worry and fear in her heart surged like a tide. After a moment of hesitation, Lin Xiaoyao quietly walked to a corner and called the police.
Hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and see you in the next chapter.